Hi, everyone.
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. This is Taylor.
And this is Sam.
Heck yes. Okay, all that to say podcast. A very timely and topical one. I think I say that at the start of every episode, but that's because it's true.
And I always say I'm
We're gonna
excited. So
I know. We gotta we're just hey, there's nothing wrong with we're just true to who we are, okay?
we
You
need to
know?
buy a
We
thesaurus.
That is okay. One of my goals I've been recently thinking about, because it's like you start the year with all your resolutions and your goals, but like I thought about it and I was like, I kind of need to like revisit those. I want to start getting into creative writing because I think
Fun.
as a child, I seriously, my dream job was to be like an editor in chief of a magazine. Can you believe that?
I
It
can't
was
believe that. You're so creative.
Oh
I
my
can
God,
believe
thank
that.
you. That was like my number one goal, but growing up, spelling and grammar has always been like a sore subject for me. I'm not that great at it, but creative writing, and I just feel like my vocabulary has taken a hit, that is for dang sure. Just like with rot and just like I feel like going from undergrad into my career, like my vocabulary has just been so tech sales focused, but not
Oh.
like I want a beautiful vocabulary. And so I think creative writing would really help me with that. So all that to say, I'm going to start getting into creative writing again.
Well, I
So
actually saw a linguistics study. I had to take a class, and they said that we actually are downgrading our vocabulary because of texting. Sorry, it's like a random fact, but
no,
it's like
that's so real. Yeah.
it's like a thing now. Like people
Yeah.
aren't talking the way they were anymore because they don't need to. It's a whole transition. It's pretty cool.
You never watch The Office, but it's that
Oh my
Kevin
God.
clip of like why long word when short word do trick, like when he starts talking like a robot. And that's I feel like the where we're heading as a society. So yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're gonna be talking about when to know when it is time to move. And that's because I am moving in, I forget, it's either 16 or 15 days at this point.
And
It's almost
also go to
2 weeks.
Taylor's TikTok. She's making the cutest like countdown thing.
I am. Please go
It's
follow
so
me at a
fun.
little bit of Taylor on TikTok. Yeah, it's a fun little series. I just wanted to document like my 30-day countdown to moving to New York. And then when I moved to New York, doing like a day one, day two, day three type of thing when I move. So yeah, it's been fun, but this is something both you and I have done. We have lived in multiple different zip codes and
Mhm.
different states.
Yeah.
2 states for me, 2 states for you.
Yeah.
And you also have like a little bit of like a potential itch in the future. So
Yeah.
that's what we're going to be talking about today. Basically,
Yeah.
just like when you know it's time to leave, what are some of the signs and how to close on that choice?
Hmm.
Different phases of life. Like we want to talk about college, post college, mid to like later 20s and upper 30s, and then just like how to choose a city. So
Yeah.
that's kind of the end of show. But like first, I think we need to do a little catch up, little pop culture update, like anything that's top of mind for you. Like
Yes.
what is going on in Sam's world?
I just saw a TikTok and I forgot to tell you before this started. It was New Heights. They had Ben Stiller on to talk about Severance. Our
I saw
worlds
one clip.
colliding.
Oh my God. Collide.
I am so like I did not expect Ben Stiller to be on that podcast talking about Severance. Like everyone, it's
Yeah,
a cultural phenomenon. Like everyone's watching
it
it.
is.
I don't know if you saw. Ben Stiller went on Kelly Clarkson's show.
No, I didn't.
I need to send this to you because Dax Shepard, who's Kristen Bell's
Yep.
husband, was
Armchair
sending
expert.
voice memos to Ben Stiller, like quote unquote, threatening him about Severance. Like it was so funny. There was one he sent to Ben Stiller, and it was like Kristen just went flying through the second story window. She's very injured. I'll keep you updated next week. And it was like a threat of how like Severance. Ben Stiller is not like spoiling it for any, or I think it was Adam Scott went on that one, but they're not spoiling anything, and I think that's kind of cool that they're keeping everything a secret from their friends, even because
Yeah.
it builds up the tension for the finale that we're gonna watch. Because like They
It's a
haven't
day
filmed
away.
3 and 4 yet either, so I'm
I
like,
know.
God, I hope that they have, like, a timeline and they know what they're doing. I'm sure they
So
do, but
here's what I'm thinking. So what I think Ben Stiller and everybody a part of Severance are like no spoilers because they care about the fans so much, which I love
yeah.
and respect. Um there's some like TikTokers who are like film critics who get to watch the episodes before they release,
I
and
saw that
someone
guy's
said,
TikTok.
yeah,
Yeah.
like it's gonna be insane. Did you okay, I sent you one like preview, the one of the goat, but
Yeah.
there is another. Did you see the big preview trailer for the
No.
finale?
No, I saw the goat
Oh
and I was like, "Oh, great."
my god, Sam. It's insane, the clips that have dropped.
I'm
Like I seriously
scared.
I cannot freaking wait. I won't say anything to you because I want you to watch the TikTok and get your reaction. Like
Okay.
it's oh my god, I'm so excited. I can't wait. And I love that it like comes out on quote unquote Friday, but it actually comes out on Thursday night at like
Yeah.
8 Central Time. So
Yes,
I
yeah.
am going to wrap my day up tomorrow. I'm going to go get my nails done and then I am going to order some takeout food and I am going to set the vibe and watch it. I'm going to pregame with the last episode. So, you
That
know,
sounds
I can
good.
like dive right into it and yeah, if it does not meet expectations, I am going to be so pissed.
I know. I actually was trying to plan Josh's birthday party. I'm like thinking Severance theme because he wants a party. And I'm like, that would be so funny. Oh my God. I feel like I'm old now. I'm like, how
Wait,
cute.
yeah, that'd be
A
so
little
fun.
Severance theme.
Oh my god, that's so like cute and wifey of you. Wait, this is your first. Oh my god, this is your first like time planning a birthday for your husband. That's like
I
kind of special.
know. And he doesn't want anything like boats or anything like that, even though I want to be on a boat, right? But whatever. I'm like,
Yeah,
maybe Severance would be really fun to do that. But if the finale's horrible,
yeah.
then it's not going to be Severance. But
Then canceled for
whatever.
real.
But I
No,
keep
this show
seeing
has to go
Taylor's
down.
theories, and I know she just looks at them for 5 seconds and swipes up.
Wait, about the theories
Yeah.
that
Do
you
you watch
send me?
them? Do you watch them?
Sam, I watch every single one, but I'm sorry. All the ones you sent me, babes, I saw those like days ago. Like, you
Wait,
don't
really?
understand.
Send
Yeah,
it to me first.
okay, I'm scared to send you stuff because you waited so long to watch this season. I'm always
I
scared I'm
know.
gonna be sending you spoilers.
I know.
No,
You're right.
babes.
You're right.
All the credit is due to you. You are the one who got me to watch Severance, but like once you unleashed the beast in me. I am
So
up at
good.
night in my bed just like watching Severance videos all night. I'm not even kidding. I've seen all of
It just
them.
doesn't make sense. I need more answers.
Think it sounds like we're gonna get the answers of what the goats mean in this season. I think so.
I
We're gonna
hope
get at least a
so.
little bit more. Oh my god. Anyways, we could talk about Severance
Yeah,
forever,
that was
y'all.
like a
We really
5 minute
could. We
tangent.
really could. Yeah. I mean, in my life, this is like this episode topic is like pretty much it. So I'm ready to dive in if you are.
Absolutely. Let's talk about
Love
it.
it. Okay. Well, I I want to share this little quote that I shared on my Insta story because I think it is a perfect way to kind of kick off this topic. And for those of you watching on YouTube, here it oops, okay. Here it is. Hee hee. I love the theory that if a city attracts you, it's because there's something waiting for you and your story has already been written. How gorgeous of a quote is that?
And
I
I believe
saw
in that.
Isn't that so gorge? When
Yeah.
I saw that immediate repost, it resonated so much because my journey to basically deciding to move out of Austin, I've lived in Austin for 3.5 years, and moving to New York City was a decision that was kind of a little bit of a long time coming, but
Mhm.
a long time coming of knowing that I wanted to move out of Austin. But the decision to move to New York was like a pretty like a little bit not on a whim, but like kinda. Um, I think maybe to like kick it off, it's like, yeah, when do you feel like it's time to leave? So
Mhm.
I had been feeling this way for a little bit because some background, I moved to Austin with like a serious boyfriend at the time, and like you're in someone's life for a reason, season, or lifetime, and I don't think I would have moved to Austin without him. Like look back, very thankful for like all of that, but all that to say, like, you know, we broke up and I was determined to still make Austin feel like my city and not make it feel like, you know, some sort
Mhm.
of like some damage or just like have like a negative outlook on it. And so, given the timeline of when we broke up to like when I was like living in Austin, I felt like I had like another good 2 years under my belt of like being in Austin and having Austin be my own. But I took like a hard look of just like what are my goals in life and like are my values aligned to this city? And I think that was like a really good exercise for me to go through of how to choose a city. Like, what are your
Mhm.
values and does that city align? And I started to realize there were less that aligned with me in Austin than
Mhm.
like than I was looking for. And I
Yeah.
just couldn't see myself quote unquote settling down here. And I don't
Yeah.
think I'm ready to settle down. And so that is what made me to make the
Mhm.
decision that it's time to leave. I'm not ready to settle down. I still feel like there's more for me, but I don't, I've met such a good group of girlfriends. It's not like I'm having a trouble time like making friends. I've dated. It's not like I'm having issues like, finding a relationship or dating. And
Yeah.
it's not like I'm looking for a new career. It really just came down to me and my core of being like, there is something more for me. And I don't think I can find that in the city of Austin.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I want to hear about your take of maybe when you kind of feel like it's time to leave. You did that. So maybe tell everybody your story.
Well, I did want to say once a lot of my friends have started moving out of Austin, it made me panic and I was like, "Oh my god, it's time for me to move now too." But I think it comes down to what feels right. Like what you said, the story is kind of already written. You don't
Yeah.
know it yet. And so I left. So my experience was the same as you. Like I finished college. I literally applied to jobs and got a job in 3 months tops. I booked everything right away, moved right away. And for me, it was, I wanted change. And I think this can relate to like post grad people that are listening. I wanted something new. I loved my friends dearly, but like I was tired of the same old routine. I, like you said, my values did not align with what I had in Scottsdale and Tempe area. And
Hmm.
so for me, like Austin is a music scene. I grew up with music. I love music and I wanted to be able to go to music festivals. I wanted to go to things like South by, and Austin is like so up and coming where there's new things that people are trying
Yep.
and it's constantly coming out like the new spins and coffees and things like that. And for me, that's what I want to do and see. And I also think having a partner has an impact on that as well. Me
Totally.
me and my husband are very happy here, but also we're getting that late 20s itch of trying a new city. So, like how you are, I think I would want to settle in Austin, but I'm getting the itch to try something new. And that just comes with like researching and all the things. I did want to note um, sometimes you don't have the chance to research, sometimes you're given a job opportunity. And so
Yep.
I did want to talk about like I've had three different friends that I convinced to go to three different cities. They had only lived in their hometown their entire life. And I remember they texted me and they were like, literally, where do you start? What do you do? How do you know if it's
Yeah.
right? And I had
Yep.
always told them, I like, again, I was going through the journey with them of moving away from my mom and all the things. But I think that you have to give it at least 6 months to a year of if you like it. I don't, do you agree with that? I think you have to give
Great
it a
advice.
chance.
You have to. I told myself going into this move to New York, I have to give myself, like, I can't even allow myself to have an opinion for 12 months. Like, you have to give
Perfect.
it a full 12 months
Yeah.
before you can have an opinion on, like, oh my God, this is the worst, like, decision I've ever made. I'm
Yeah.
so lonely. I'm, like, having a tough time. It's a Friday night, and it's like, oh my God, I don't have, like, my go to people that I would be going out with and pre gaming with right now. Like, you
Yeah.
have to give yourself 12 months. I truly believe
Yes.
that.
And you also have to realize, like, can you? Because here's the difference is Taylor, you're very social. I
Mm-hmm.
knew someone that moved to a new city. They have never been social before. They're struggling and they blame the city.
Yeah.
But it's also like you have to give it a chance. And people say that all the time, but you really have to put your best foot forward. So joining
Yep.
Facebook pages, like I know that Austin has a girls group that we can all reach out to and meet up with people and get coffee, right? Um, You
Bumble
and I
BFF.
both go up to people at like music festivals and concerts, and we're like, hey, we like the same music, love your outfit, super cute. Are you free to
Yeah.
go to another concert? And so, really giving it a try, right? Are you moving to the city for work? Do you want to hang out with your coworkers? Is that priority? Do you
Yep.
want to only hang out with new people outside of your group? And I know you, Taylor, have a really good balance of like you have great friends that are in other cities for coworkers, right?
Mhm.
And then you
Mhm.
have your social friends here. And so, yeah, little tangent, but I think you people really have to give it a chance. Join those Facebook
Yes.
pages, meet up with people. Honestly, it's really scary, but I've met people just being like, "Okay, you're ordering coffee. What are you ordering? What do you like?"
Yes.
Like kind of like seeing if they're open to making new friends. And like I know you and I both have met friends through friends or people that we knew and we're like, wow, totally vibe with you. You're amazing.
Yep.
Let's continue this friendship. So
I
yeah.
love everything you just said. Oh my God. Clip that, put that on social. That was amazing. I think it takes like to find, and this is unfortunately coming from the point of view of two girls who are like quite extroverted and
Mhm.
like are not afraid to put themselves out there.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
maybe if you're introverted, like I think maybe it just takes to find a person like a Taylor or a Sam
Hmm.
who's just like a connector and is a little bit of like that wallflower. Like oh my God, I love nothing more than when someone comes to me and is like, I'm coming to Austin for a bachelorette. Can you connect me to your favorite restaurants or give me
Yeah.
recommendations? I love being that person then that connects people. Moving to New York between Sam's bachelorette party this summer, the two other bachelorette parties I had this summer, recently my great aunt just connected me to a cousin of mine who I didn't even know existed, who she lives in New York, is my age, and is like, I want to show you around New York. Like,
Yeah.
it takes just finding one person that's willing to connect you, and those people are out there. It fills my cup up. Don't be afraid to ask people for that as
Hmm.
well. But I agree,
Yeah.
it comes, and you're gonna kind of have some at bats that maybe like don't work out, and like
Yeah.
that's okay. I think about the amount of girls I've met in Austin that I like
Yes.
follow on Instagram and I haven't talked to in 2 years, but like
Yes.
we had some fun. We went out for a little bit, just didn't necessarily click. Was like a fun person to go to concerts with,
Yeah.
try new coffee shops with, all that good stuff. But yeah, just like challenge yourself.
Hmm.
Maybe once a week, just like, yeah, when you go and treat yourself to coffee on Friday mornings, if you're anything like me, that's what I always do. Just like spark conversation with someone. It could be the barista. That
Yeah.
is like the one person you're going to be forced to talk to, right? Like you have to order coffee
Yeah.
from them. Maybe ask
Yeah.
them. Be like, "Oh, hey, how long have you like worked here? Like I'm new."
Yeah.
That perfect.
Yeah.
That is like someone you're going to have to talk to. It doesn't have to be a stranger. Go to a bar. Like I'm fortunate like moving to a city like New York, people go out to bars by themselves all the time. Just like
Yeah.
go take them out to take themselves out for dinner. I do it here in Austin all the time. Shout out to Elizabeth Street Cafe. I love going there and bringing a book and sitting at the bar because like all of
Yeah.
like the bartenders are so fun there.
Yeah.
Go strike conversation with a bartender. They love to talk to people and tip them well. But
Yeah.
um, I think like, do you have anything else you want to maybe touch on when it comes to college? I don't have this point of view because I went to college in state.
Hmm.
But I guess technically you went in state as well
Yeah,
because
no. I mean, but the thing was is I did branch out and that has always been my goal is I love my friends and I'm very loyal to them, but I do want to make friends always.
Mhm.
Um and so I did want to say another tip that I learned from my current job is if you want to meet people and you're scared, you can work a retail job and meet people that way. So
Great.
one of my coworkers, she literally just applied and they were like, "What are your goals?" And she's like, "I just want to make friends."
I love that.
So like that's another way like if you're an introvert and you do not know how to approach a conversation, you can work, a couple hours a week in retail and see if you can meet some friends that way. So, yeah, I think moving changes for everyone. There's different perspectives, but like we both said, you have to give it a chance. If you are looking to move to a city for friendship, you have to look at ways to make friends. You know, a lot can come from it. Like I know two different people, they moved to new cities and they found like their forever partners and I'm happy for them. So, yeah, that's
Heck
kind of
yes. I
what
think
I would say.
I wish I remembered the job role, but Core Power Yoga, they actually
Yes.
have like a job where you don't get paid, but you get like a free membership, and you
Mhm,
just like have to do like 6 hours a week of like helping to clean the room after
mhm.
like, clean up the sweat and like fold towels. But that could be another really great option, and one I'm
Yeah.
honestly considering like moving to New York, because it's like I first need to figure out what my favorite studio is. I know I like Core Power, and that can be a really great place to meet some people. But really
Yeah.
interesting about the retail option. That's fun.
Yeah.
I have kind of another perspective on like when how do you even know it's the right time to leave? Like
Mhm.
it is ultimately it's gonna be it's gonna be your decision. Like no one can drive you to that. Speaking from someone who's like single, like a single perspective, right? Like not having another
Mhm.
partner, like truly having zero strings attached to anyone and making a decision for yourself.
Yeah.
Arguably, I don't know if it's scarier or not, but anyways, one thing that I found a lot of peace with when I made the decision was that I'm leaving Austin on a peak, on a high. Like
Mhm.
it's only been as of recent I've kind of been feeling a little negative about Austin, but that's probably because I know I'm just like I'm going to be moving soon.
Yeah.
But in general, when I made the decision, I was leaving on a high. It wasn't
Yeah.
because I was so fed up with this city. I was so tired, and I was like I'm leaving on a high, and that made the decision feel like a little bit more peaceful and at ease and not so rushed. Like it felt like I'm in control of this decision because I'm leaving, not because I'm upset, not because I'm angry, not because I feel defeated or lost,
Yeah.
but I'm leaving on a high. And that just made me feel like I had a little bit more control in the decision, because it didn't
Yeah.
feel like I was like being forced out of something. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, I don't know. That's like an interesting take. I don't feel like I hear many people talking about. But then maybe like we could talk about how to actually choose a city to move to.
Yeah.
I've definitely got some advice or takes, but not sure. Do you have any things you're thinking?
I mean, hmm. I think that I've seen people say kind of get out of your comfort zone if you're moving in your later 20s. So,
Okay.
like, figuring out, like you said, are you happy with being single and you want to go to a city with a single mindset and like really live it up and enjoy it? You know,
Mm-hmm.
I know you were going to mention like dating scene and things like that.
Yeah.
I know like I want to say if you have lifelong dreams and you can make it happen, I think late 20s is a great like change in time to do it. Like I'd
Yep.
always wanted to live in California. If I have the means to, I would 100% live in California. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
don't think it's a bad idea to chase your like as cheesy as it sounds, a bad idea to chase your dreams about moving.
I think if you have an itch, it's like I think I chalked it up for a really long time of like, oh, if I have the itch to move somewhere, like I'll just travel instead. It's
Mhm.
just
Mhm.
it's not the same, and I would
Yeah.
really encourage anybody like listening, if you have a little bit of an itch, a desire, like do something meaningful every single day or like once a week to like explore how you can actually make that decision come to like or make that thought come to an actual decision. Like
Mhm.
going on Pinterest, like me, I had three cities in the back of my mind that I was like interested in. Um and I knew I had a trip to one of them. Sam and I had a trip to New York City. I ended up going a lot sooner in the year, but I knew that was one of them that I wanted to move to. Going on Pinterest helps a lot. Going onto that side of TikTok as well,
Mhm.
um, I think is a great option. But I think what I thought about is okay, I grew up in Nebraska, 4 seasons, right? Fall, spring, summer, winter. Like we got to experience all of it. And I moved to Austin. I love the heat, do not get me wrong, but there's only 2 seasons in Austin.
Mhm.
You get a little bit of winter and you get summer.
Yeah.
And I have been really craving for time to slow down.
Mm.
And time not to slow down because I feel like I'm aging too fast or I'm getting too old. It just feels like a little bit of like a mundaneness in
Yeah.
Austin to me. And I chalked it up to that's because my life is not broken up into four different sections anymore. It's broken up into two, winter and summer. And
Mhm.
so that was something I thought about. So maybe think about that. Weather is a
Yeah.
huge impact. I'm moving to New York
Oh,
where
yeah.
I now get to have 4 seasons again. And I feel like that's going to help time slow down a little bit more. You
Mhm.
know? Does that make
I
sense?
I definitely agree, but I also have like devil's advocate. So, my sister, she lives in New York right now,
Yep.
and she gets really bad seasonal depression. Sorry, Rachel, if
Totally.
you don't want me talking about this, but that is kind of the opposite. So, like, to give different perspectives, like she misses Arizona so much because
Yeah.
she only wants heat. Arizona is, you don't even get a winter. It is
Right.
hot all the way through. I think it gets down to maybe 40, but it's a dry heat, so you don't even feel it.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yep.
so definitely think about and keep that in consideration if you think you're going to get seasonal depression. Like, I've had people tell me, like, I love Twilight. Oregon would be so fun. But also,
Could
it's
never.
rainy, it's gloomy sometimes,
Yep.
not sometimes, all the time.
Yep.
And you have to think about, like, also, are you a nature girly? Do you want to go hiking? Do you need to see national forests, right? Like, I saw
Yep.
someone's TikTok and they were like, I love my city so much. I don't want to move, but also I need to go touch grass. Like,
Yep.
I cannot live in this like scope right now. So,
You
yeah.
have to think about all those elements, and that can help drive you to then putting together, a green, yellow, and red list. Like, what are the
Mhm.
cities that fit at least, I would say, like 70% of like your values, and like
Yeah.
putting them into different buckets. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that aspect of time slowing down was one of them for me.
Hmm.
And then think about maybe some of my other different values: art, culture, and food.
Hmm.
I I got a little taste of it when I traveled to New York, and the food in Austin is great. Culture and art, like, that is something I just am excited. Like, I grew, watching like Gossip Girl and the Met and like the
Hmm.
museums. Like, I'm really excited to like be around that and have the option to be around that.
Hmm.
The only little taste of that I feel like I've gotten in Austin is I am like a proud library card holder and member, and I go to the library all the time, and it makes me feel like I'm participating in something like that.
Yeah.
I just need and crave more spaces like that.
Yeah.
Um, a
Definitely.
mix of outdoor and city life. Austin's perfect for that if you're
Hmm.
looking for outdoor and city. When you
Hmm.
go downtown, you get the feeling of like being in like a larger city, still a college town, but like the outdoors, like there are so many great trails in Austin.
Yeah.
And everyone's probably like, girl, why are you moving to New York City then? Well, me justifying it is because of one, the park aspect, but another big element for me is being by the water. And
Hmm.
I'm fortunate enough to be living really right near the West Side Highway,
Yeah.
and walking by the West Side Highway, hearing the water, hearing the waves, all of that good stuff. And also just being in the Northeast. I'm an hour bus ride away from beaches and all of like the northeastern states. I'm so close to, all of that next to me. But
Yeah.
other than that, like there's so many other elements and values to it, right? Like
Yeah. Definitely.
opportunity, jobs, dating, all of that good stuff. But
I do want to bring up a point. It kind of transitions into the same thing. Also,
yes.
when moving, think about price and price range. So, one thing that me and Josh will no longer compromise anymore on for apartments, we have to have a two-bedroom.
Yep.
And I know for a fact if we were to move to like New York, we would not be able to afford a two-bedroom. And I'm just saying
Great
New York
point.
because that's an example for you. But like, I would even like LA, we would be in like the lowest studio possible. Or
Yeah.
I believe like Raleigh, I think we would be able to afford a two-bedroom there. So
Yep.
like people like might laugh at that little tidbit, but it really does affect your mental health. If you are not ready to live in a studio, you need to think about that. Like, I
Uh,
remember my first
yeah.
apartment, I think I had a 500 square foot. God, I hated it. It was so like, well, post grad. So like I was living in Cedar Park and I was like 900 square foot, amazing. And then I moved
Yep.
closer to Austin. I live in a 500 square foot. And
Right.
so I really think that is important. If you care about where you live, and like me and Josh were talking about how we spend a lot more time at home. And I've been seeing the trend of like I'm paying or I'm making use of my mortgage, ha ha ha. Like, whatever.
Love,
If
yeah.
that's something you value, that is something that you have to think about in the city as well. Like if you would like
Great
a
point.
2 bedroom, 1 bedroom, roommates, if you don't care or if you do care, because different cities have different price ranges and different kind of things that come with that as well.
Yes. Like Sam and Josh, like, is it a non-negotiable for you that you need a 2 bedroom? Or are you in a situation where you could go back and forth on that? Like the
I
roommate thing. I
Yeah.
was, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I think it really depends on the city for us. Like, we
Yeah.
really wanted 2 bedroom, but obviously, if we would go out of the country, I could live in a shoebox.
Yeah. No,
You know?
that's a perfect point. It's like, hey, I'm willing to
Yeah.
do a one bed if we're getting, a work visa and getting the heck out
Yes.
of here. But knowing if we're moving, to another apartment in Austin, it has to be 2 bed. Like,
Yes.
those are great things to start thinking about, journaling
Yeah.
that out. I had to make like the decision of like, am I moving to New York by myself or with a roommate? And I
Mhm.
was like, why would I ever like have a roommate? I've been living by myself. And then I had a lot of like friends and family who kind of talked me into the idea of a roommate because it
Mhm.
was like someone who you have by default someone to explore the city with.
Mhm.
Um someone who, one, obviously cost of living is like significantly cheaper with that, but then two, like it's a huge move. I'm literally moving like across like the country
Yeah.
um to from Austin to New York,
Mhm.
and it's going to be a lot easier if you have someone. And
Yeah.
so shout out to Anna. She now follows our podcast and I'm
Hi,
so
Anna.
excited to live with her. But it took a minute. It took a freaking minute to like figure out what I was going to do.
Yeah.
Moving to New York is not easy, let me tell you. Like but it, man, when it clicked, it just clicked
Yeah.
for Anna and I. And so I think that is like a really great thing. We could not go through this entire podcast episode and not talk about like price. That's so like fucking privileged
Yeah.
of me to just like whip through that. But
Well, and it also
it's
depends.
true.
Like I said, like if I was going out of the country, I can move into a studio. I would not
Yep.
care. But like I really cannot sorry if it sounds privileged, but in the States I can't justify going down to a studio right now.
To-
Maybe
yep.
next year talk to me, but yeah.
Yep. Totally. Um, I love it. I think that's kind of all I had to say. All of that
No.
to say. Hee
All of
hee.
that to say. I
All of
think
the
we
thing.
can give all the tips that we want, but it really comes, like as dumb as it sounds, it comes down to what you in your heart think is the best decision. Like
Yep.
I said, I've talked people into it, and there's also people like, you know what, after talking to you, it does not feel like the right move
Yeah.
or whatever. And don't
Completely.
force it if you don't feel like it's right. You don't want to be miserable. You don't want to be trapped,
Yeah.
right? But
I don't think
yeah,
anybody who ever moves, it's ever going to be the wrong decision. Like, I
yeah,
truly don't believe that.
yeah,
Um, I think it always is the right decision. You may move from there and you may be like, I've tried this for a year and I'm ready to either move back. But I think it always will make you grow and develop as a person. And
yeah,
I'm fortunate enough, I think it comes down to like, yeah, trusting your gut. I
yeah,
grew up in a household where my mom and dad, no matter what decision I make to this day, they always say, the only person that knows what's right for you is you, Taylor. Like my mom and dad seriously say that to me all the time. It's ingrained into my brain.
yeah.
And it really is true. Like I don't know, you know when it's time, and I encourage you
Yes.
to scratch the itch. So all of
Yeah.
that to say, thanks everybody for listening. You can follow, yeah, my moving content on everything will be linked in like the show notes. Everything will be linked to the podcast socials, to listen to us on Spotify, watch us on YouTube, watch me on TikTok in my moving documentary lol. Follow Sam on TikTok because we love all of
Yes.
Sam's recent content. It's been so
Oh my
cute and
gosh.
popping off.
Yes.
But yeah, thanks for everybody for listening. Okay. Love
Okay.
you, Sam.
Bye. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. Bye.